instalment of the HLK vlog, where we update you on IP information and topics of interest. So I am your host, Jo, one of the partners at HLK, and here is another Jo, also partner at HLK. And what are we talking about today, Jo?
Thanks, Jo. We are going to briefly talk about strategic portfolio reviews and a few things that we've found helpful to look at certain aspects of that review. So we know that in-house attorneys and maybe smaller businesses, an important part of their job is looking at portfolio reviews and really kind of looking to see how, especially in these uncertain times, you can maximize the value of your portfolio for your business needs.
So how exactly do they go about it, or we go about it? What do we need to do to try and think of ways of saving costs in these uncertain times?
So I think a first thing that may be very useful is to either have or generate, if you don't have one already, a map of IP rights onto commercial products, projects that are future commercial products, and also the activities of your competitors that maybe were the driving force behind those IP rights in the first place. So, you know, I'm a big fan of making your IP work as hard as it can for you and your business. And essentially the principle is to generate this information document that can give you a global overview of where your IP is working and where it's not working. And so a simple example of that is simply to have a list of your IP rights. And typically, you know, you and I deal a lot with patents. So it might be a list of your patents and your patent applications, and to list their expiration dates, where they are currently pending or granted, and then match that information up with the commercial product, the future products, which sometimes I term as projects for clients, and then also, as I mentioned, those activities for that might be to be blocking competitors and that sort of extra tier of strategic thinking.
Okay, so you've put together this list and you've matched them to these products. Then what do you do with this information that you've collected?
So the idea, and hopefully this will generate, essentially it'll be able to give you in a short amount of time key information about what IP rights are covering what certain products. So it may be that you've got a load of IP rights that are covering a product that was once a great product and a big hitter, but it's been superseded by something else. And so you've got all these IP rights costing money that then aren't really working for you because they cover older technology. Then the other level of that is that it should hopefully give you an overview of what IP rights are covering multiple products. So this is the linkage between product and an IP right. Gives you an idea of, okay, there are some core IP rights that really do span across many products, many future products, or even cross business areas of your business. And that should give you a really kind of good idea of what IP rights are working hard and what aren't. The other level, you know, the level beyond that is then you can use that information to look at, okay, well, these rights are particularly old, you know, they're coming up to their expiration date. We know that most renewal fees increase over time, and that's part of this patent system to disincentivize people holding on to rights that they no longer need. And so, you know, you can use this system to then organize, okay, let's start with the older rights and see what's really working hard and what's not. And if there's stuff that's not working hard and it's old, then that gives you the trigger point for the decision point of, okay, this is the stuff that's not as high priority as it used to be. Should we think about dropping these? And obviously, you know, it's business dependent. The other area, which hopefully will tell you, you know, these 4 simple bits of information, the territory is that often we start off in the process in patenting thinking, this is going to be a global success. You know, we have this optimism of it's going to be brilliant, it's going to be a commercial success in every country. in reality, that doesn't always happen. And so what might be a success in one country might not be on the market and never going to enter the market in another area. And so by using this tool, you can see, oh, well, this IP covers product X, which is a huge success in X, Y, and Z countries, but actually we don't really need those IP rights in any other countries. So again, it's all a part of a trigger point of, are we using this? Is it pulling its weight? And so that's essentially the principle of mapping this out to be able to make informed decisions of what is costing money and making money, and what's costing money and not making so much money.
And I think it's a great tool that companies could use to save money. I mean, I bet there's a lot of companies out there that have these kind of protected patents, areas of their products that are not actually commercially valuable to them, but they've just never taken the time to sit down and look into it. But that's one of the things that I would be concerned with. I mean, how much time does it take to put something like that to get together? Or is it that the sort of outcome is worth the time that it takes to put into it?
Inevitably, companies with huge portfolios, if this doesn't exist in your company, it will take some time to set up. Now, one way that can help that is if your IP software can in some way accommodate that. All that sort of core information about your IP rights is already there. And if then you can bolt on or accommodate the information about the products, then that hopefully shouldn't be too much extra work. But as you say, I think, if you do have these huge portfolios, and if you have 10% wastage in those portfolios, it is, in my opinion, worth investing time to get this set up so that you can identify that wastage, and ultimately you'll reap the rewards over time, because this is, once you have this sort of system set up, it's something which hopefully should be easy enough to maintain. Hopefully you can have a 6-monthly annual portfolio review and just update all this information. And that hopefully over the long term should more than reap the rewards of taking some time at the beginning to set that all up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. And I think that if anybody is interested in finding out more about this, then please do contact us. Or indeed, if you want to know any other ways about strategic portfolio overview. So I think that's all we've got time for today. So we'll be back soon with another topic of interest. But, as always, feel free to get in touch with us if there's anything that you would like us to talk about.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Bye.